Read the room. Read the room. If somebody is like, yeah, what a weekend. Yeah. They're adjusting themselves. You take your legs and put them on the table. Now you're asking for the remote. That is your cue to go. It's 11:59, Andrew, surely. You came here at 2 for lunch. What is this visit? Are you also baptizing us? Eric, what are some of the bad habits you've witnessed that you'd advise people to stop? A warm welcome. My name is Eric. The other one is Omondi. Thank you so much for making time to hang out with me. Ask Eric is a platform where you and I try and make sense of difficult adult conversations in the quest to be better. It says better is good. When we know better, it behooves us to do better. Lupita Nyong'o, who is Kenyan, once said that she's learning, so that I don't misquote her, to deeply value the human right to be imperfect. So that said, nobody's asking for royal high-end sort of elegance, with high tea and you have your nice apron. Nobody's asking for the royal family manners. But it helps when we exercise appropriate and orderly behavior so that everybody else's life is better. Also, we live in a community. We belong to the human family. You don't live alone in a jungle. So if you do something injurious, it can rub somebody the wrong way. And so I have a lot I could say about this. Right off the bat, because of social media age, and we live in a social media world, information has become very easily accessible, and we've become very easily accessible. I have a lot of misgivings with social media. It has a lot of merits, but it also has tons of demerits. Matter of fact, the oldest social media we have now is Facebook, I believe. Facebook must be 20, if not 21. Then we have the TikToks and so on and so forth. But for me, the thing that I'm completely against about social media, I don't like the idea that absolute strangers can have access to you directly through things like the DMs and so on and so forth. But more than that, friends and family and acquaintances having access to you directly. And so they can literally spoil your mood. Have you ever been, chilling, minding your business, you're doing nothing at all, you are just in your nothing space. You're chilling. Then, you're like, I don't think I was expecting anyone. What's going on? And then you go to the door, lo and behold, the acquaintance who believes you're the best bosom buds at the door. And they're like, I see your car, open the door, you guy. I was in the neighborhood. So common courtesy. It used to be the reserve of people to walk in and out of one another 20, 40, 50 years ago because they didn't have any other way to do that. But now you have a phone. You want to make a good use of it. I would say you text first. I have my own problems with people who call you. Who just call you. I feel like calling somebody is very intimate, especially if you don't know them intimately. So you have to factor things like, can this thing be a text? This thing I want to say. Say if you're calling somebody and say, I just saw someone who has dreadlocks like you, and I was like, hey, how is my friend with dreads doing? Really? They're in the middle of a presentation. Shouldn't you have maybe sent that as a text? So I think I would say, number one for me, and this is very, very, very subjective, I think we need to invite back appropriate phone etiquette. That includes texting first, if it's a text-worthy message, and also texting first if you are checking to see if you can call. Okay? I get that sometimes life weighs heavy on our shoulders. Something heinous has happened at home or at work, and you want to discuss it with a friend, and you feel like this is a close friend I can share this thing with. Your boyfriend has just broken up with you via text. It's heavy stuff. But while you're, riling and spiraling in your emotions, spare a second and see, can I load this on the other person? Okay? Can I load it on them? It's painful. It's pressing you funny. You're feeling uncomfortable. But are they in the emotional space to receive it? Just because people have not shared with us what they are going through doesn't mean they're available to receive all of our shenanigans. Okay? So ask people, look, I'm going through something. I appreciate your listening here. We've been friends for a while. And the only person I can trust to have this conversation with is you. But I don't want to lord on you. I don't know what your schedule looks like today. If you're available between this weekend and maybe later tomorrow, I would really appreciate an opportunity to rant about something. That's respectful. So they become available. They empty themselves and they become available emotionally to be loaded on. Again, as we've said in this space many times, no conversation is neutral. Something will inform someone and rub them the wrong way. So if something is happening to you that is rubbing you the wrong way and you load it on me, it's going to rub me the wrong way. Energies are transferred. One time a friend of mine used to fight with a wife a lot. And I started noticing I was getting really angry. I'm not an angry person. But every day I would just wake up really upset. And all we used to do when we wake up in the morning, he'd call me and say, I don't know how to say this. She just threw a board on my face and now I'm being stitched. And I would be writhing. I'd be like, what? That is emotionally and physically abusive. Why is she doing that? And I got to a point I was thinking, maybe I should call her and start admonishing her. And it took me months to realize that I became a dustbin for all of my friends' emotional balderdash. This one's wife has done this. That one's wife has done this. This one's girlfriend is doing this. And now, before I knew it, I started thinking, is it even worthy being in these relationships? You see what that does to people? So I think very strongly that you need to text people and say, look, I really need to have an intimate conversation. X, Y, and Z going on. Don't just, John has died. What? I'm just losing my mind. The work was crazy today. I got arrested by a cop. Now John has died. I have to deal with John dying. Okay? There's a place and a time for communicating sensitive information. And I see also on social media, people get really happy with posting things about death and gloom and doom. So you snuck into a mortuary and took a heinous, grisly accident picture of somebody dead, and then you just blast it on somebody's page. And I see people in the comment section as, I've not seen this video, send it to me. And then now you're just resharing it. Do you ever bother to say maybe they have a family, they have a child, they have a wife, they have a husband, they have a mom who dearly loves them, and that is not the way they want to see their person go out? Okay? Or even sharing things like gossip. You've not verified, it's alleged. Where were we? Yeah. These things are not working. I've even seen. You've not verified the story. Now with AI and all of that stuff, people can even ape other people's voices. And then someone would say, Eric said, then you share it. I didn't say that. So I would say very strongly, friends, family, acquaintances, check on someone before you lord on them. Text them before you visit them. Closely tied to this, which is a very bad habit I see, learn to read the room. Learn to read the room. It will serve you well. People are uncomfortable giving out their cars. Don't call and say, we are going for funeral. Funerals are very important in our culture. Can I use your car? You will strain the relationship. You've walked into the house and you can read their face, their bit of, don't spread yourself to be hugged. They don't feel like touching you. Don't hug people's kids. Like, come, baby. Chum, daddy. Chum, uncle. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You go chum your kids. Read the room. If somebody is like, what a weekend. Yeah. They're adjusting themselves. You take your legs and put them on the table. Now you're asking for the remote. That is your cue to go. It's 11:59, Andrew, surely. You came here at 2 for lunch. What is this visit? Are you also baptizing us? So don't put people in a corner where, and if they joke and say, we have an extra bed, you can sleep if you want. Don't go like, should I? No, don't. They don't mean it. They're just saying, it would be nice if you left. The plan was you have lunch and leave. Now you want to remove your clothes and sleep in somebody's house again. Huh? You see, learn to read the room. If you said we are doing lunch, you came at 4, it was supposed to be at 2, now it's 11. What are we doing? You know? It's a horrible habit. It's a horrible habit. Now they've spread a mattress in the living room. Kids are skipping you in the morning. The kids have to skip because they have to reach for their crayons and paintings. And you're just there covering yourself in full daylight. Okay? So I think it's just general courtesy. Lunch means lunch. Tea means tea. I would even add, if somebody has asked you out and say, well, can we meet and have coffee? This is not an invitation to order for caviar. What exactly do you have in the chicken family? Chicken. Salome, chicken. Who spoke about chicken? We said we are having coffee. Now you are starting to look at, I'm very excited. I can't wait for dessert. I've been told this place is bomb with dessert. Dessert. Why wouldn't you consider that perhaps they really had wanted to hang out with you and they just want a quick bite and coffee? You are loading them. You think coffee means takeout for your kids plus yourself. I'm sorry, I sound like but I have so... I think it's a horrible habit. Also about phones, nobody wants to hear your Mandigo warrior and how gigantic your equipments are with what you did last night. Learn to step away and speak in a timbre that is low. You are there in the corner saying, you saw what I did to you last night, eh? I devoured. Spell devour. Why? Nobody wants to hear that. There is a reason why that is a private conversation. If you can't do it right now because the space is small, you can excuse yourself. Hey, I'm with people. Give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you. Okay? You don't just spill your intestines. Now we know your business. Now we know. We know what you did last summer and this summer and the next summer. You know those people who are always loud on the phone while name dropping? No, we told the governor that we will take 4 billion. Yeah. 3.5 is too little. Thank you, you're a billionaire. Now we know you are rich. But now you've just turned around and asked for fare. So we are now suspecting you. You see? So just a little courtesy goes a long way. Yeah? A little courtesy goes a long, long way. This idea of loading on somebody immediately just because you have their number. Also just this thing for, I would say, about the phone, I think we should do another one. If I've given you my number, it suffices that you ask me if somebody asks for it. Just say, hey, I met a lady called Mumbi. She does X, Y, and Z, and I feel it augurs well with what you're doing. She would have wanted to talk. Is it okay if I gave out your number? Is it something you're interested in? Then I would simply say, oh, no, thank you so much. I met somebody last week who we are doing it with. No worries. But now you just gave my number. Now I have to explain to a battalion of people how I'm no longer interested in things I discussed with you in privacy of our home. So ask, can I give your number? That goes with love interests. You know, there's this guy who's been bothering me in the office. He sees you walking up and down. So now I gave him your number. He will call you. Then like, why did you give somebody my number? He was bothering me. What do you want me to do? What? So just be considerate. You go to people's houses and you enjoy nyama. You know those friends who say, I love your ndaos. Oh my God, I've been thinking about your ndaos the entire week. If you go to their houses and you raid their fridge and you take milk and their tangawizi tea and you're raiding the fridge and you love their samosas, it is wise that you replenish or refill the things you've consumed. You can't just strut and leave and consume and consume and consume as though those things produce themselves in the fridge. Also, when you go to somebody's house and they've accorded you their presence, carry something with you. It's just common decency. You know, they'll give you tea, they'll give you ndaos, they'll give you cake, they'll give you a meal. Carry something. And in carrying something, especially if you're a person with means, don't take something cheap. Give good gifts. Give good gifts. Good gifts are not necessarily expensive, but give a thoughtful gift. So if you are a manager in a company and you work and you earn money and you drive this lavish car and you've gone to a party and consumed generously, surely you can't leave 100 bob and say, hey, I've left you guys like a small bahasha. That's not a gift worthy of your stature. Give a good gift. I'm not saying you give 1 billion, but give something sensible, a thoughtful gift. If they're lactose intolerant and you take milk, it's not thoughtful. You didn't think about them. Yeah? If they hate pink and you bought pink shoes, it's not thoughtful. So it requires that you go and do some digging. What is it that these people like? What would augur well with his family? If their son graduated high school 4 years ago and now you've gone with a check, a banker's check for their former high school, it is not thoughtful. What are they going to do with that money? So buy a decent gift to refill your consumption. It's not a tit for tat. It's just a good gesture. Another thing when you're visiting, I would say, look at the culture about the house. Do they step on the carpet? I've gone to countries like my friends in Ethiopia. When I visit Addis, most people don't remove their shoes. It petrifies me because I remove my shoes. So I always remove my shoe when I go to their houses. They're like, why do you remove the shoes? I'm like, it's just a habit. Because I was brought up, shoes from outside, you don't step with shoes from outside inside the house. So read the room. Now you're there with your muddy shoes and everybody's just like, that carpet is white, sir. And you're just there like, how are the kids? What? Remove your shoes. And I hope your socks are clean, because now if you are to change the atmosphere, it can be a bit interesting. Posting pictures online without somebody's permission. You've seen that, right? We are at a wedding, we are chilling. I took somebody I'm trying to hit on. It's very solemn. Then you, boom! Eric with his news quiz. Who told you? The chick has not even said yes. You've not even asked me. What? That was a priority information that I gave you. I told you we are just from a date, but we passed by the wedding. You've taken our pictures and now posted it. And now you're spreading a gossip. Ask me. This includes pictures of children. You come to the hospital, somebody just gave birth. Oh, mama, can I take a selfie with this cutie, cutie, cutie? Then you post it. Even the mother has not posted the baby. What is wrong with you? Wilkista, what's going on? These are just very common sense things not to do. Setting your phone on the table. I see this a lot when I go to meet people for official meetings and just casual hangouts. Your phone is there. We barely sat in. You're chatting. This is very funny. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you about that friend. Oh, hello. What? You see, you are missing my being here and you're not fully there. So where are you? You are in the air. Are you a witch? See, you just put your phone away. You can put your phone away, put it on silent. You respond to everything. I mean, once or twice if it's an emergency, it makes sense. But throughout the dinner, you're on your phone, you're on your phone, you're on your phone. Being mean to the waiting staff or the guards, I see people proudly saying to people, security guards, you will know who I am. Now, surely. Why do you want them to know who you are? You have to, you cannot fight a mosquito with a hammer. You have a sense of somebodyness. Already this person, because of their work environment and maybe they've been there for so long, just extend them grace. It is in your glory to overlook their offenses. They're already over there tiny, but now you want to punch them. You are a whole elephant with your big SUV. Now you want to shout and tell the waitress the way she's useless. Really? Just be respectful. Yes, the service was not great. It's probably fine that they had a rough day. They had a rough day. You can smile over that, encourage them, and then go. If the service is bad, give criticism that is constructive. Don't berate them. I once went on a date and this woman said, I want a cold soda. I heard her say, I want a cold soda. The waiters, who are my friends, brought a cold soda. And she's just like, are you deaf? I was like, You can tell how fantabulously the date went after that. So don't be rude. Don't insult people. Don't look down on people. Be kind. A lot of these offenses that we think are so magnanimous are not. You can just smile through it and go your way. It is glorious to overlook an offense. It is not glorious to be petty. Take it to Tapelekana. You will know me. Constantly interrupting. Have you ever talked to somebody and they are talking as you're talking? It's so frustrating. You know, the other day I was like, yeah, it's so funny. The other day you were there. Me, I was there. Or one-upping somebody. Somebody has told you a painful story. Oh, you know, by the way, I didn't tell you, I lost my child. I was with child and I lost the pregnancy. Now you have to one-up them. Have I ever told you the way I lost 5 before this kaboy you see here? What? There is no hierarchy of pain. Their pain is not less than yours or more severe than yours. You cannot start one-upping them with pain. Me pain yangu ni deadly. My mother died. Mine was murdered. What? Can we apologize for this case first and then you'll talk about yours at a given time? Later. Ingratitude. Just a simple thank you. You've called for the past 2 hours when somebody was in a meeting. Please send me money, I'm stuck, send me money. They send you, then they have to call you the following day to say, oh, hello, did you get it? You're like, yeah, I did. Of course you saw my name. What? When you're in need, you would call and call and call. Now, a simple thank you so much you've come through for me. I really appreciate it. It's hard. Ingratitude. That's another bad habit. There's always a bunch of people who have a problem. They find a problem for every solution. Ignoring personal space, I said I could go on and on and on and on. You've gone to, say, one of these government offices, some man with a generous belly is so behind you, you can feel the warmth of their belly on your back. They want your belly to connect to your spinal cord. Can you give me room, sir? Step away. Personal space. We are in the lift. It's packed. You've seen. Now you're coming in, breathing on my nose. What? Like, just give me room. We have to do this one again. Rude comments under people's posts about body shaming them. They've said something, they speak with an accent you don't approve of. You go under their comment and start berating them. You're saying, oh, your tribe is like this, your tribe is like that. We've birthed keyboard warriors. You know full well you would not be able to say those things if you met them in person. Why do you have to do that? All of our bodies are different. Just because their bodies is different from you doesn't require you to remind them how thin they are, how lanky they are, how short they are, how tall they are, how fat you think they are. You know, some of these opinions you can just keep to yourself. Nobody has invited you to talk. Have you ever met somebody who looks very decent and then you become friends on social media and you start seeing his comments and you're like, what? So that's a horrible habit. Okay? So do right. Just do right. You don't have to speak when you don't have to. You don't always have to share your opinion. Some of these things, you can just sit them out. You can just totally sit these opinions out. You can sit them out and you will not die. Comprende?